Test server time, let's play that new Swedish medium tank. Wargameu, you promised me Swedish premium medium tanku. Well, might as well play the tanks I'm currently grinding towards. But before we actually get into playing some games, there are some new features in the patch 9.16 test server. In general, nothing really has changed except for the vehicle panel. One level, if we apply it, you will see that your vehicle selection rotation thingy-McBobber is one line. 2 level, and you'll get 2 lines. Now this is quite useful if you have quite a lot of tanks. For example, now I have to scroll less, well I still have to scroll quite a bit, but if I want to see all my Russian tanks, there they are, at least my primary ones. My Germans, there they are. American, French, blah blah blah. You get the point. In the sound, now the sound panel has completely changed. There's now voice chat, which you can test if you want to, I'm not going to. And there is the presets. Now I'm wearing headphones, so I'm going to go headphones. Low frequency enhancements, you will hear that in the gameplay I have for later on. And then you have your sixth sense. Now there's the variant 1. Which is the one we are used to now. Variant 2. It's a bit weird. I don't know quite what to expect of it. And you have one that you can make yourself. Now all you have to do is make an MP3 file. I have no clue how long it should or can be, but you have to rename it 6 Sense as it says there and move it to your res/audio ww folder. I will let you hear what kind of stupid things you can have, because it can be anything. Now there's feedback. Now in feedback, a lot of things has changed. This is the standard hit log, or basically where the shots came from. Then we have advanced. You can see the tank, if it damaged the module. Again the tank, the amount of damage it did. If it was blocked, it's black. If it did damage, it is red. Now I don't really like this myself, because I'd rather see what kind of damage I've taken. And well, basically down here, that's where I want to see how much damage I've taken and basically what the rolls were. Instead, all we see is now this for about 4 seconds, so I have to figure out what shot me for how much damage. So that means how much damage have I lost, how much damage or health do I have left. That can be, I don't know, I've gotten so used to seeing just down here how much damage I have lost, so close to my actual health pool, that I am much more like aware of my current health. If I have to look down up there and then down here, that can be, I don't know, it doesn't really work for me if I'm really honest. And then we have the battle events. Now the battle events is something that is actually quite interesting, because if you are capturing or defending an enemy base, a small, well, message will pop up that will look like this. Actually, I'll turn those off, give me a second. That will appear like this on the screen. That will basically count up by, I don't know yet, I think 5 I haven't been capturing or defending my base during the test server. And that will disappear again. Then you have the damage blocked. If you block damage, that will pop up and disappear again. This will also count this amount up. So you will see how much you blocked, and it will count this. So if you blocked 2 times 750, well, you've blocked 1500 damage. Then we have the spotting. Now if we spot 3 tanks, this will be times 3 spotted. Now I'm not quite sure if that will add up like in the lists that we will see here. Because as far as I can tell, this shows me damage blocked, spotting, tracking damage, I'm not quite sure what that means, and fire. Now I am okay with Wargaming adding this, but I'm not quite sure if I have everything enabled, like so. Give me a second, this takes some time to click it. If everything that is shown here will also be plonked in here. Like, I don't really care. I don't want to see here how many base capture points I have or how much fire damage I did. Like, I only really care down here, if I'm really honest, about damage taken. So I don't know if I will see track destroyed and critical hit and base capture points down here. I'm not quite sure. I haven't played the test server enough to know that. Now, if we, for example, we destroy the vehicle, well, if we destroy 2 vehicles, that will say times 2, I assume, blah, 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 blah. If we destroy the track, it will be shown down here. You get the whole point. Oh, not again. No! I hate this! Why you do this game? The thing that really interests me is the damage upon spotting, because there were no mods before this patch that would show you how much damage you had done upon your spotting. Wargaming adding this is actually really quite useful. And thinking of it, if I have to do a base capture mission, well, I would just turn on the base capture one, and then I can see exactly how many base capture points I have for my mission. There are light tank missions and heavy tank missions where I have to capture the enemy base. Now, if I have to do half a capture enemy base, I can just turn this on and just start counting. If I have 50, I can tell my platoon mates, if I have some, like, you can come in now so we can cap faster. Now, if I set an enemy on fire, this will tick up next to this on the bottom of your screen. Now, this stays on screen for like a second or so, and then it just disappears again. Now, like I said, I'm not quite sure what will be shown down here. If it is only these four, then I am quite okay with it. But I don't want every single icon that is here to be shown down here, because that is just an overflow of information. That is something I don't really care about. Now, if you don't want the event names, you just want the icon and the tank, then you're just making your life difficult for yourself, because I don't know, why would you do that? And if you don't care about the vehicle, you just want to know what you did, well, there's also the option to turn that off. Now, there's a reason this is called feedback, because Wargaming wants to know what is the best thing or best plan to work with this. If we can choose here what is shown down here, that is great, but does that mean also that we cannot see what happens in game here as well? I'm not quite sure what Wargaming is doing with all of this, but it's quite interesting to see how they are implementing it. But I would rather see damage taken log down here and the rest somewhere else, as long as this stays. I like this. This is good stuff. Those three counters up there, good stuff. But basically what I want to show here is, instead of me possibly spouting lies, I'm going to see what happens in game, what pops up and what doesn't. Now, I spot 2 tanks, doesn't get added to the list. However, I do damage to the E183, and that does get added to the list in the bottom left. So it is more focused on if you do damage, block damage and possible spotting damage, than showing everything. Now again, I do damage on the 113, shows up on the list. Here I want to track the E100. Now I get the crit hit, doesn't show up on the list. However, the damage that goes done to the E100, or the Jaegeru, while it is tracked by me, does get added to the list. So it's basically pure damage caused, damage spotted, and damage from tracking damage. Not damage you take, because that is in the hit markers on the top of the screen. And a few other things that Wargaming have added this patch is a couple of more HD tanks, HD maps, as you can see in the bottom right. It's not a top-down picture anymore, but it is drawn and you can see clearly where you can and cannot go. And the spotting mechanics have been improved massively. If you spot an enemy tank, it is not halfway through the street, no, you spot it immediately. Really well done, Wargaming. Now Wargaming has added a new feature as well, the medium, or at least the personal missions tab. Now I'm not quite sure what this is for the selected vehicle. Maybe a mission, for example, maybe the Dicker Max. If there is a Dicker Max mission in the game, which is on the moment I'm making this video, maybe then this tab is selected, I'm not quite sure. But the personal missions tab, I can exactly see what mission I am on. I am on 14 out of 15 on the T-55A, and it goes directly to the mission for that tank. Now that is quite useful, because then I don't have to click 4 times. Oh, well, never mind, that kind of failed. Shh, it's all part of the game. Sometimes you want to compare tanks. Now Wargaming has added this little button where it adds to the comparison, and then you get this little tab down here. Now if I want to, for example, to compare the 263 to, what shall we do? Oh, I know, the Grill 15. I just click this button, add to comparison, and then we can see how they compare to each other. For example, shell damage, a rate of fire, hit points, and then we can scroll down to even the concealment. But it doesn't show things, for example, like terrain resistances. So Wargaming is on the right path, but they're not quite there yet. Also, you can see the differences in, well, for example, right now the gun traverse limits. The Grill has 43 degrees more to the left and the right than the 263. So, good job on your Wargaming. I like what you're doing to the game so far. And if you really cannot wait to spend your money on wargaming, there's always the premium store button to click, and it will bring you directly to the premium store, where you can throw your wallet at your monitor and Cerber will see if every single credit card you own. Oh, of course, one last thing I forgot to talk about is, from patch 9.16 onwards, it will be impossible for you to talk to the enemy team. Wargaming has removed this feature because, and if I'm truly honest, I agree with them, it brings too much toxicity. People are mean to each other in chat, so no more talking to the enemy team. It's over, finito. No more saying hi or GG or Phew, you piece of. And this is the game where I test out the Sixth Sense. Now I'm twiddling a bit with the voice sound because I didn't have crew voices at all. But listen to this. Yup, you can have a yodel as your Sixth Sense sound. You can have this. Or maybe this as your Sixth Sense sound. You can make anything you want as long as you can save it as a .mp3 file and call it Sixth Sense and put it in your res/audio ww folder. Now here's something I don't quite like about the damage taken panel is, you can see I've been shot by the IS-7 for 490 damage, or at least he bounced. And the T-62A shot me for 300 and something. For some reason, I don't care how much the IS-7 bounced for, but because the T-62A shot me first and then the IS-7 hit me, the IS-7 overlaps the T-62A damage. So that needs some refining. If anything, the damage should always be visible instead of the damage blocked. What I did notice, however, is you can basically decide what you want to have in your battle events, popping onto the bottom of the screen. During this match I only had spotting on, but in the damage log in the bottom left next to the damage panel, you cannot control what is shown there. That is purely damage spotted and damage done. And I don't know, it doesn't add anything, if I'm really honest, to the base game. I can see that I shot the IS-7 for this amount of damage, which is nice, but I still care more about damage taken. And I blocked shots from the IS-7 and T-62A, which is nice, but still I care more about damage taken. So you can turn off the list and still have the 3 counters next to the damage panel, but then I don't know, it doesn't add anything really when I can see it at the bottom of the screen and it still has a counter that I can also remove if I want to. Like, I don't need the list if I have the small counter next to the damage panel. Still, it would be rather useful if that was damage taken and possibly blocked instead of damage done. Now I know this test server was mainly actually popularized by the Swedish premium tier 6 medium tank being announced, but there was some complications with it. You got a 1001 error, vehicles not found in your garage when you wanted to log in. So instead I'm going to play the Object 263. Now I've been grinding towards the Object 263. Last Thursday I made a video on the SU-100M1, and this is the tank I'm grinding towards. And god, I have been playing this on the test server for a couple of games and I love it. Like, it is... A lot of people hate this tank because of its small gun traverse, but actually I really love it. Now there's a few things that I have to say before I start talking about random stuff and things about the test server. First of all, this is a replay from the first iteration. There is no Swedish tank because there was some errors, like I said, like 15 seconds ago, so they removed it from the test server. The damage panel is not in the lower left because, one, it doesn't work with the replay system, or maybe the second reason is I forgot to turn them on while recording this replay. I'm only human, I make mistakes too. The third one is, welcome to the test server. We had a blue RE-251 and our artillery got killed by the E-100 because he was European and playing artillery. Now there's a fourth thing, is there are no crew voices. I haven't got them to work since the test server started. I don't know if this is a bug with the test server because it is still a test server, but I don't have crew voices, but I don't think you would really care because they would have been Russian anyway and they'll be all like, oh, we have killed them, well done comrade. And the fifth thing is, Wargaming has been reworking some of the sounds, and like I said, the low frequency sounds, they They sound really, really good in my opinion on the 263. Because it's an open-topped vehicle, you can actually hear the whole gunfire. You're not confined into the tank where you can only hear the gun breech coming at you. No, you can hear the nozzle explosion as well because, like I said, the tank is open-topped. Now, I took a small break in talking there because I just wanted to hear the explosion of the gun firing again, because I was playing this game and I was talking to the gold and just saying I just want to keep on firing this gun because of the sound. Like, that sound is just so good in my opinion. And that wasn't really a shot on the T30. I just really, really wanted to fire the gun to hear the sound again. And I'm going to be quiet again to hear it again. I don't know, I just have the feeling that you actually fire something. It might be a little bit too Hollywoody, as in there's a bit too much of a bass, because I've heard actual guns fire. And there is not a lot of bass when you fire a gun, it's just a big flash of a bang is the best way to describe it, instead of a echoey sound coming after it. And I don't know, I think I'm pretty much done talking about the current iteration of the test server. When the Swedish tank will be added to the second or maybe third iteration, I will play it and I will make a preview video of it on this channel, as you do, for your maybe torture and or entertainment to watch or not watch. It's your choice, I'm not forcing you. I'd really appreciate it if you'd watch it. Oh, maybe, yes, there's one last thing. This is the first time I got to actually download a test server again since patch 8.9, I believe. For some reason, whenever I wanted to download a test server, I would get a warning that would say, the data obtained from the update service is incorrect. Now, I would have no idea how to fix it. I tried everything. I reinstalled World of Tanks itself. I reinstalled the test server client. I would re-download the actual download link for the test server client launcher to download the game. Nothing worked. But for this test server, I tried it again. I just downloaded the common test server installer, fire it up, install the test server client, boot up the test server client launcher, start hopefully the download, and then I would get the same warning again. The data obtained from the update service is incorrect. So basically what I did was I kept installing and deinstalling it over and over and over until it worked. You know that saying, right? That Jingle says a lot. If you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it might stick. Well, it eventually worked. That and the fact that I had to download an Asian test server client installer for it to finally work. So, I don't know. If you are having trouble, try downloading maybe the Russian version or the Asian version. There should be no difference, but it worked for me. I think I'm almost done commentating on this video. I got a Pascucci's medal on the test server, which is always nice, playing my 263 half attacking and half campy, because, like I said in the SU-101 video, this is a assault TD line. You get into people's faces and shoot them, and you will shoot them again until you shoot them dead. And now there's only this 1A3 left for my Top Gun. Let's see if I get it.